Hey everybody, welcome to Draw Sessions, podcast number 3, Why Starving Artists Are Starving. This particular podcast it's probably going to hit home more than the majority of my podcasts that I'm going to be doing in the future. Because the term starving artist, I think, is thrown around so much. Either people don't understand what it actually is, and the people that actually are starving artists who complain about being a starving artist, they need to do some soul searching. So I'm going to be talking about what it is to be a starving artist and why it's completely nuts. Um, so, and even before I discuss it, I just want to say that those of you out there listening that actually do consider yourselves starving artists and are making awesome art, I that's totally fine. It's totally fine. Um, However, I'm going to try to explain why you're not able to pay rent and buy food and live, a little bit better than going around and calling illustrators sellouts. So, hopefully I'm going to try to help you because this is not a personal attack. So, a starving artist essentially sacrifices themselves, sacrifices income, sacrifices a place to live, sacrifices food on the table for the sole purpose of making art. Now, I'm an artist myself. I understand the passion that goes into making art. I freaking love it. I love drawing. And those of you out there that are considering yourself starving artists, you probably love painting and drawing. I totally get it. But there's a common argument in the industry between illustrators and starving artists. And the argument is this: starving artists call illustrators sellouts because they are selling their art to make big bucks, to live comfortably, and to have art directors tell them what to create. And then you have starving artists who think that what they're doing is more pure because they are working for themselves and they're making art just for the sake of making art. But I'm here to tell you guys that the reason starving artists are starving is because they're lacking key skills into actually selling your art. When you ask a starving artist, what's your number one goal? Most of the time they say to sell the art. Uh, well, that's not a goal. That that doesn't help you. What it does is it perpetuates this self-fulfilling prophecy that once you graduate from fine art school, you're not going to get a job. You're going to have a hell of a time finding a gallery that will house your art. You're not going to work for anybody but yourself. That is the starving artist mentality. So when you spend $150,000 on an education at a fine art school and then don't do anything after it, it's nobody's fault but yourself. Now, I will say this. Uh, Schools do a really bad job at teaching people how to market themselves. I get it. I get it. But hey, let's face it, guys. We're adults, okay? Not only are we adults, we know what business cards are. Okay? We know the internet exists. We know the importance of websites, networking, talking. We know the importance now more than ever. It's 2017. It is not 1990. We know the importance of posting our work online so it is seen by as many people as possible. Okay, the problem that starving artists have is they don't market themselves to the point of growing any sort of business. But it is a skill that can be learned. So starving artists are they could be very, very intelligent individuals, very smart. They could probably make killer artwork. Living in a dungeon apartment with roaches around, no furniture, hardly a bed, paintings, beautiful paintings everywhere, paint everywhere. But they're having a hard time paying rent. Nobody is buying their work, and they're not eating. They're irritable. They can't get around because they don't have a car. Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with networking and talking to an art director and doing artwork for a company. There's nothing wrong with it. Second of all, if you're a starving artist that you know what you're doing is not right, that you want to be seen more, there's a legitimate fear of posting your work online. Most starving artists hate rejection. They don't like to be told that their work isn't good or they need work. It's vicious. Concept artists in general, like when we start out, we don't like hearing that our work needs to improve. Nobody does. There's a lot of ego that goes around with being an artist because we think that what we know is all we need to know, and that's not the case. So and this isn't really a rant. I genuinely care about artists out there that just can't seem to make it. And when you come up with this mentality that, oh, I'm a starving artist, I'm making art just for the sake of art, and I will sell it. No, you won't, because you're not. You need to get over yourselves, and you need to branch out, because you need your beautiful artwork seen. And you can start by taking very, very good, high quality photos of your work and posting it online. Make a gallery. They got websites now like ArtStation and DrawCrowd. I mean, you can make your own stuff in WordPress. You know, a bunch of sites that have beautiful built-in templates that will show off your work. And it is amazing what happens when you have a website, because I've been down the road where even before I had my ArtStation site or any kind of website, I would go to a cafe to draw. Somebody likes my work, and they say, "Oh, that's really good. Do you have a business card, or do you have a website?" And first of all, I say, "No, I don't have a website." And then second of all, we do the embarrassing thing of whipping out a napkin or ripping out a piece of notebook paper and writing our number on there. Even if you are a responsible human being and you have good business sense, well, not really good business sense, um, handing a piece of notebook paper off is going to look kind of bad. Your business card, it's a page of your book. It's a page of your business that you're handing off to somebody, and that's the only thing that they have to go off of. So if you have a crumpled up piece of notebook paper, if you have a business card that's frayed or it doesn't look good on the sides, like I said in an earlier podcast, they're going to think that's what your work is like and what it's like working with you. So, starving artists out there listening, stop telling yourselves that it's okay to starve, because it's not. Okay? What is okay is doing one of your beautiful paintings for a client or an art director, and they pay you enough money to live off of for a month, and you can do it. Stop telling yourselves that, oh, I don't have money to go out, or I couldn't make rent, I have to sell this painting. That happens. If you are a full-time freelancer, I understand, especially if you're starting out. But if you have this mentality of, I'm not looking for any client, I'm not going to go out there because I don't need to, well, guess what? You deserve to starve. I'll put it bluntly. It's kind of harsh, but you, you need to get over yourselves so that you can branch out. And I hope that I hope that people are hearing this, hearing what I have to say, because I'm not trying to judge you. I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm trying to help you. I've been down that road where I don't have enough money for rent, car payment. I don't know what I'm going to do about food. It sucks. It sucks. But I had the mentality to get my work out there, and I understand that there is a legitimate fear of confrontation. Okay, we don't like being confronted by people. So if you're an introvert or you suffer from agoraphobia and you don't even like leaving your house or your studio, there are different ways to get your work seen. Okay. And then the other thing is the the arguments going back and forth between starving artists and illustrators. It just needs to stop. It needs to stop because it's not constructive. It doesn't get you anywhere, and it's not helping anybody. We as artists need to stick together. We need to band together to help each other out. We need support. Okay, we need guidance forever. It doesn't matter how good you are. I'm 36 years old. I've been drawing since I was 4 every day. I still need to practice stuff. I do, and it's inevitable. It's how you grow. And I wish that a lot of the starving artists out there would just erase that stupid term from their mind, because it is a self-fulfilling prophecy. What you think is going to happen will happen because you're expecting it to happen. You're expecting to starve. And you tell all of your friends, I'm a starving artist. I do art for the sake of art. Do you really? Or are you avoiding something? If you are happy, that's one thing. But if you're doing all of that, telling people that you are a starving artist, and deep down you're not happy, you can change. You definitely can change. Um, I've seen it happen. One of my favorite artists, Noah Bradley, who he did go to fine art school and graduated, and he's been doing work for Magic the Gathering ever since, and he's been paid pretty well over the years. And he even said that there was a conflict in his college between the fine artists and the illustrators. Okay, there's a big difference. If you have the capabilities of selling paintings for a lot of money, but you can't let it sit. If you let it sit and expect people to come to it, you're going to starve. And you have become a starving artist. That stupid term. While the other people are getting attention from the people that should be buying your work. So, what I want you guys to think about as I close this session, it was a rather short session, but just know that being a starving artist does not have to define you. Okay? Don't let it control you, because that's what happens a lot. You control it. You control who sees your work. You got to get your ass up and get out there. Quit being lazy. Okay? And you need to start talking to people. You need to start becoming more involved in the online community, because that is where the business lies. And then your business skills will start to grow. So stop feeling sorry for yourselves. If you're a starving artist and wondering why nobody is getting your art, why nobody is buying it, it's just those little things. Okay, start with a business card. Go to moo.com and use one of their templates, which I did, and you can buy a pack of 500 business cards for I think $40. It might be a little bit more. That's all you got to do. Business card is a great start. Get a nice photo of your artwork on there. Tell people what your name is, your phone number, your email, and what you do. Those are the only things you need on a business card. You don't need it to be fancy. Rounded edges do look kind of nice, but doesn't need to be fancy. And that right there is a great start to you not becoming a starving artist or to dig yourself out of the hole so you actually can pay rent. You pay $800-900 for rent or $1,000. There's no reason why you can't be paying that with your art. Something isn't right. Okay? If you need to improve, you need to get your head out of your ass and improve. Once you get over yourself and ask people for another eye, it can help you. You just got to get over the fear of being constructively critiqued online. People are vicious online, I know. But you can improve greatly. There's so many good resources online. So, thank you for listening, guys. This one was a particularly important one that I wanted to talk about, and I do ask that you all please share this particular podcast. If you don't want to share any other podcasts I do, if you don't like them, I understand. It's fine. Everybody has their own personal taste, but this one, please share because I want as many people as I can to hear this. Thank you all for listening. I love doing these podcasts, so I have more ideas. Please leave a comment just to tell me like what you want to hear next. Some ideas, and I would love to tackle as many as I can. And it doesn't matter how personal. This is about us getting better and growing as artists. Also, I'm now in my, I think, third week of my Patreon. It's been a lot of fun. I created my first assignment on it, so those of you that subscribe to my Patreon, thank you very much. If you would like to subscribe to my Patreon and help me out, support my art, you could even throw me a tip for like $1. That's all it would take. If you just go to patreon.com/Bobby Rebholz. The link will also be in the description under the video. So everybody, thanks again, and please share this video, and I will talk to you probably next week. So keep drawing.